Welcome back here to Surprise, Arizona. Scott Galletti, Mike Rooney, and we talked about this in the break, Mike. Play of the game right here. Dernetti got his bearings. Nice throw, beat him by a stride to thwart a bases-loaded situation and keep a 3-2 lead.
Yeah, I mean, we looked at shortstop as a real question mark for Oregon State coming in, and even though Kyle Dernetti was outstanding at the end of the year at second base for Oregon State last year, boy, he has taken some white out to that question mark because he has been tremendous at shortstop this weekend.
No, he really has. When we go to the bottom of the fifth inning, and guess who? Right on cue, Kyle Dernetti is at the plate. How many times does that happen where you got the guy who made the great defensive play, and now he makes a good offensive play? 0-2 pitch, singles in the center.
And now if you're Oregon State, you know, first of all, Dernetti shores up the defense, which is such a staple of Oregon State baseball, the way they defend at a high level. But now if you're Mitch Canham, you can really run your offense with Meckler, who can handle the bat, does a bunch of different things. I think hit and run, bunt for a hit, slash. There's a lot of options right here against Vreeling.
Big fastball, 92, taken up high. Meckler 0 for 2, grounded out the first unassisted, flew out to left to end the third. But he's a guy who can get things going. Came in 500, he is now 3 for 8. No RBIs, runner at first, Dernetti. 2-0.
I think if you're Mitch Canham, you're going to give Wade Meckler a chance to swing the bat, maybe put a ball in the gap here, and then with one strike, you could do some version of execution, any type of bunt, hit and run. You got a lot of options.
Another option is the man at first, 1 for 1 stolen base wise, 5 for 5 for Oregon State on the young year. Dernetti held on by Forrester. Pitch to Meckler. That one inside. That's ball 3, 3-0.
And that's what you get. You know, this is the 2-on-1 here, where you've got you put so much on the pitcher's plate that all of a sudden they start losing the command of the strike zone.
Yesterday it was a 2-0 Oregon State lead going into the fourth. Oregon State had 2 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth, and 5 in the sixth to put that game away. And this team is in the danger zone if you're the opponent.
And if I'm Mitch Canham, I'm sending Dernetti right now. Vreeling's mostly a strike thrower. Meckler is a guy you trust that if it's a strike, he's going to make contact.
Ball 4. Well, you didn't have to send anybody except for the guy at the plate, the first on a walk.
Yeah, and I wonder if Brandon Harmon might make a trip to the mound here. This is really the game hanging in the balance. Now Vreeling or whoever is going to pitch is going to have to contend with the middle of this order here. Oh, offensive timeout. Here we go. They're going to run an inbounds play, Scott.
Gotta love that. They all meet up. Infield and outfield is still where they're at. No visit. Now you're making the pitcher Vreeling stand out there and think while the opposition is talking things over like,
yeah. Now, I'll say this. When it comes to pace of play, offensive timeouts are not awesome. However, I'm in favor, like, offenses get 3 a game. I think that's probably a little too many. I like 1 a game, 1 offensive timeout per game. But I do like a good offensive timeout.
There is work down in the bullpen for Gonzaga. But yeah, that was an interesting offensive timeout. And yeah, I agree with you, Mike. They're going to go on the inbounds play. They're going to set up a layup.
Picket fence coming. Screen for the screener.
Ball 1.
That's the right pitch if you're Vreeling. You know, if you just you got a real problem here with Bazana, who can really hit. And we are going to be in that Gonzaga bullpen very quickly.
Yeah, Owen Wild, the right-hander, was one of the guys over there. Wearing number 20 out of Gig Harbor, Washington. High towering fly ball to right field. Sterling going back, and he can't get it. It is going to go all the way to the wall. Round the hot corner, Dernetti. Round the hot corner, Meckler. They score on a triple by Bazana. The freshman coming through again. And Oregon State ups its lead to 5-2. This is a freshman crushing that ball.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Scott, this kid is going to be a star. This is a 1-0 breaking ball, and it hangs up there. And, you know, most freshmen are just going to hit fastball only in that situation. But Bazan is able to recognize the hang and breaking ball and nearly turns that into an inside the park home run. I mean, he's barely behind Meckler right there.
I thought he was going to think about it at first, and then they held him up. He literally was going around the bend that fast. And Bazana getting RBIs numbers 4 and 5 already. And this is your star freshman, the up-and-comer, and a guy who has star potential. And major league potential, obviously.
Yeah, he'll be a draft-eligible sophomore. I think he'll be a very high pick in 2023. Gonzaga going infield in right now, so I think Bazana will, with nobody out, he'll make the ground ball get through the infield. If you're Boyd, you're just fighting, trying to get to a mistake. Foul pitch is off. Do whatever you can to take advantage of that drawn-in infield.
That's up the middle, a base hit off the bat of Boyd, and Boyd will score Bazana easily. It's 6-2 in favor of Oregon State. Justin Boyd just so impressive at the plate, what he can do as well. Gets the RBI single, and for Boyd, that's his 4th RBI.
Yeah, that is really good hitting. Boyd found himself in a real pickle there against a guy the caliber of Vreeling, where he's got 2 strikes, and you absolutely have to have contact, and he finds a way. Really mature at bat right there. Had the base stolen right there if Forrester doesn't foul that off.
Yeah,
too.
he did. And you heard the groan of the crowd because it was fouled off. That was beauty. Beauty also is this Oregon State offense. You talked about it's a danger zone. You talked about the game is in the balance, and all of a sudden, 3 across, just like the 4th.
Yeah,
and the way they do it, they make it look so easy.
Yeah, and again, Scott, they're not just doing it against the typical Sunday starter today. I mean, Tristan Vreeling is a real talent, and he was sharp for most of the day. I mean, the 6th spot they've put on Vreeling, to me, is very loud.
Mm-hmm. Zana with the triple to score a run, then the RBI single by Boyd. 6-2 Oregon State, bottom of the 5th inning. Good looking pitch, but taken for a ball. 2-2 to Forrester.
I think this might be Vreeling's last hitter, Scott. He's been very good at times today. The Oregon State offense has finally gotten to him, and Melton drilled that triple last at bat. I think Forrester's probably his last hitter.
At 87 pitches right now, make that 88 as it's 2-2. I think you're right. Just simply because of the trend where he's going and the pitch count.
Yep. Not a great result today for Vreeling, but man, there is a lot to like about this Gonzaga rotation. If this is your Sunday guy, goodness gracious.
2-2. 51 strikes, by the way, of those pitches, but a lot of the balls have come in the latter stages.
Mm-hmm.
He was right around the strike zone prolifically in the first couple of innings.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can make an argument, Scott, the first 3 innings, that Tristan Vreeling really had his way with Oregon State.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he was clearly the person with the upper hand in that battle, and to your point, that's the beauty of this Oregon State offense. They just keep wearing you down.
Well, it's the old second time around mentality.
Just missed it, huh?
Left field, Johnstone.
Can't see it.
He lost it. How about that? Yeah, this is about the time of day, a little before, where it's a tough sun field, and you add the clouds into the equation today that we didn't have the first 2 days, and poor Logan Johnstone wasn't anywhere near the ball. We saw that in one of the games earlier where there was a pop that went into the stands, and the left fielder thought that it was in left field. It ended up being into the seats for a foul ball, and Johnstone looking for it, couldn't find it. That's just a tough luck play.
Yeah.
You feel like you're on an island after making a play like that.
No worse feeling than being an outfitter who can't see the ball. Kind of a shame for Vreeling. That would have been a really good way for him to end this day, is retire a hitter the caliber of Forrester. But either way, good days ahead for Tristan Vreeling. Very impressive at times in this outing.
All that, it's listed officially as a single to left field. Nobody touched the ball. So it's a single, and that is that for Tristan Vreeling. So new pitcher coming in, and we will talk about him in just a moment. It is a big inning for Oregon State, and they're trying to keep it going. 6-2, they lead it over Gonzaga. 2022 Sanderson Ford College Baseball Classic on Flow Baseball. Look at some of the fans here at Surprise, Arizona's Surprise Stadium, having fun on a Sunday afternoon. Hope you're having fun here. Oregon State having fun as they've scored 3 here in the 5th inning after 3 in the 4th. They lead it 6-2, and you look at Owen Wild, the new pitcher for Gonzaga, 6'2", 230-pound sophomore out of Gig Harbor, Washington, Gig Harbor High School. Last year, Owen Wild, couple of appearances, 16.87 ERA, no record, 2 2/3 innings pitch. And Mark Macdoff, the head coach for Gonzaga, very high on Owen Wild, as he feels that he's going to be one of those guys to make a big jump. He made a big jump last year, 90-94, fastball slider change, and one of the guys that he's looking forward to building up in this program.
Yeah, and this is a tough first assignment right here.
And there's first
Melton.
pitch hitting. Melton, left center field, base hit. Easily scoring from third, Boyd, and to third is Forrester. It's a double for Melton. Just like that, it's 7-2, Oregon State.
Melton is so aggressive early in the count. I mean, if you're Owen Wild, you made a good pitch. He went first pitch changeup, hung it just a tiny bit. Melton does such a good job using the middle of the field right there, and boy, he is impressive. This is going to be a real headache for Pac-12 pitching coaches.
Melton who already had a triple today, picks up his second double in as many innings. The extra base hits, triple in the fourth, and a double here in the fifth. Scoring on the play was Boyd. And Oregon State, that merry-go-round continues, and that's up the middle of base hit, and that should score two as Forrester scores. Here comes Melton. 9-2, Oregon State. Base hit for T.J. Wheeler to get a couple of RBIs. They do it soft, they do it hard, they just do it. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and I think what stands out, Gonzaga does this as well, but maybe not as prolifically, but the Oregon State hitters really do a nice job staying in the middle of the field, using that big part of the field. It's not a pull-centric approach, and again, they just keep the line moving. An hour ago, Scott, it did not feel like the score was going to get to 9-2 at any point today. It felt like you're going to have to win a game 4-3 the way Vreeling was pitching, the way Townsend was pitching, and eventually the Oregon State offense just figured it out.
Line drive to the second baseman, throw to first, and they get the double play. Marenko throwing to Forrester, and that is a huge double play for the first two outs of the inning. Marenko doing it again defensively.
Yeah, Gonzaga's been good defensively. This is a tough play, and if you're Wheeler, that's a base running mistake. You're taught to be back on a line drive. If it gets through, you'll have plenty of time to work on getting to third base. So that's something Oregon State takes a lot of pride in. Wheeler, as good as he's been offensively, base running error there.
4-3 double play. Ninth man in the inning coming up. Tanner Smith struck out, grounded to the first baseman unassisted to end the fourth. We're in the bottom of the fifth inning. Sixth spot for Oregon State. Like you said, Mike, the impressive thing about what Oregon State is doing offensively is they're not doing it against standard Sunday pitching, standard backups. They're doing it against the opposition's best and making it look extremely easy in their third game of the year.
Yeah, no question. And, it's not a one-sided offense.
Wild on the good play, throws over to first in time, but Oregon State bats around. They get 6, and we go to the top of the 6th inning. It is Oregon State with a big lead, 9-2 over Gonzaga. 2022 Sanderson Ford College Baseball Classic on Flow Baseball.